Hello everybody and welcome. Rich Claren, Lewisboro Town Councilman here on behalf of LCTV Channel 20, welcoming you to Town Park for the second annual celebration of the Juneteenth holiday. We're here to commemorate the Juneteenth holiday from June 19, 1865, and that commemorates issuance of General Order Number 3 by Union General Granger, which served to emancipate slaves in the state of Texas, the last state in the Confederacy where there was slavery during the Civil War. We're here to celebrate our community, we're here to celebrate our diversity, we're here to celebrate freedom here at the Lewisboro Town Park, and we're glad to welcome you here on behalf of LCTV Channel 20. Okay, hi, I'm here with Cynthia and Dawn, two of the organizers for our Juneteenth celebration, and it was their brainchild along with Letitia last year who got everything going here in Lewisboro with the first Juneteenth celebration, and their dedication to this event as well as our community. I think they actually financed everything last year out of their own pockets, which shows their commitment to how important this holiday is and this celebration is. So welcome both of you guys.
Thank you.
Okay. All the weather's cooperating here at Town Park. Low humidity.
Yes.
We put that in our last town board meeting to make sure we had perfect weather conditions.
We got a tent just in case. Thank you.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what we have here today is for the second annual Juneteenth celebration. What could people expect in being here today?
Well, let's see. We have music, first off. We have music because it is a party. So we have a jazz trio over on the stage, and later on we will have a DJ for music. We have a kids' corner where books will be read. Books based on diversity, based on, anything regarding people of color. We also have a beautiful timeline that Cynthia made herself. You can talk about that.
Yeah, it's a timeline starting in 1619 when slaves were first being brought over to America. It actually goes through 2021. It goes through the Black experience and Black struggle, so you could call it Black history, but it's really American history. And we are trying to really bring a community together. It's a predominantly white community, and we feel that voices of those of color need to be heard and need to be supported, and so we wanted to create this event last year and this year to bring everyone together so everyone feels included and supported.
Well, our federal government has made Juneteenth a national holiday now, signed by President Biden. So, Cynthia, what do you want people from Lewisboro to come away with by participating and being part of the Juneteenth celebration?
I think you said I think
I'm sorry.
Right. I'm sorry.
I know. I was like doing two things at the same time.
I think we want everyone to be together and see that there is diversity here, and to get to know one another.
Absolutely.
Because that's the way that you start breaking down any bias that we have. We all have biases. And it's important to start to understand where they are and start breaking them down, and teach our kids to have empathy towards other races. And when you start at a young age, then everyone is much more accepting of one another.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
Well, it's we talked about the last town board meeting, Dawn, that the community has reached out and given financial support. A lot of people in the community. I just gave myself. So there's also an opportunity for people to contribute more towards help underwriting that, or if they want to reach out, right? They can write they can write a check to the town, I believe.
Exactly.
In care of this celebration, and that'll be allocated accordingly.
And that'll be great. And whatever's left over, we use for next year.
Exactly.
Be even better. Even bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we definitely encourage everyone, and not just the town, but others, to come together and celebrate this important holiday. Yeah.
It's a kumbaya holiday.
Thanks so much for your commitment to the holiday and the celebration and making it a reality here in Lewisboro. We appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you for supporting it.
Take care.
Here with Letitia Stapleton, another one of the organizers of the Juneteenth event, and the genesis of the whole Juneteenth celebration last year was Letitia's creation along with Cynthia and Dawn. Hello, Letitia.
Hi, how are
Don't be
you?
nervous. Just introduce. So you're here with some of your family. Why don't you introduce your family?
I'm here with my husband Mel, my cousin Brian, my dad Joe, and other family members are over there, my cousin. And there's more to come.
All right. So the best looking family award we already have that. Very good. So Letitia, tell us a little bit about how you thought about creating this Juneteenth event last year and what you wanted to accomplish and what you wanted to bring to Lewisboro and bringing it forward.
So I've been here for 11 years now, and I wanted to introduce or even explore my background and where we come from. And Juneteenth means a lot to us. We always celebrated that. We really don't celebrate July 4th because that wasn't our Independence Day. Usually, June 19th is our Independence Day. And last year it was a blast. Everybody came together. It was what we wanted was more of a unity, to understand each other's culture and to be together. So that's basically the foundation. It's not like we're trying to single out anybody or divide anything. We want us all to come together and enjoy one another. That's our goal.
So Joe, what does it mean to be here in Lewisboro? Tell everybody about that. We come here and celebrate Juneteenth here in Lewisboro.
Oh man, it's a great deal. It's a real great deal just to be here and just honor independence on June 19th.
Well, it's nice that our country is recognizing it now. The federal government is recognizing Juneteenth as a national holiday.
Yes.
Celebrating on Monday.
Yes. And we're here today.
It's a great day for Lewisboro, great day to celebrate. I'm glad to have you all here with us together.
To be here, yes.
Yeah, I want to thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, here with Dave Squirrel, New York State Supreme Court judicial candidate, here to join us for the Juneteenth celebration here today.
Thank you, Rich. It's a beautiful day outside. It's gorgeous, and I hope a lot of people come down and enjoy it. Great seeing you again. We're law school buddies.
Glad to have you here in Lewisboro. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here. Thank you very much.
I'm here with Ron Ross, long-term Lewisboro resident, professional educator for decades. Welcome, Ron. How are you?
Doing fine, Rich. It's a great day, and it's just nice to see the town recognizing this.
So, tell us what Juneteenth means to you. That it's now a federal holiday. Our country is recognizing it as an official holiday. Tell me, as a Lewisboro resident and your personal experience, what Juneteenth and this celebration in our community and our country means to you.
I just think it's, as you know, I was a history teacher long before I became an administrator in education, and I'm never surprised anymore about the lack of our history that was taught. Even Juneteenth in a segregated school in Northern Virginia, it wasn't talked about. As a teacher in New York City, it wasn't talked about. And I just think we diminish ourselves as a people when we select from our history and don't tell. The very fact of Juneteenth, I think, supports the idea of what I'm trying to say. It was 2 years later before they even told them what the history had been, that on January the 1st in 1863, there had been an emancipation. So the misinformation or the lack of information or trying to decide what we will tell, although in some sense all history is subjective, that doesn't give us the right to just openly decide that some people's history is not worth what it is. We have to be educated, and by being educated, it means that we have to all understand that events occur and things occur that may be painful. But if it's true, then we have to accept that and move on. No country is perfect. The Constitution, the preamble goes, a more perfect union. Didn't say it was perfect, but we are always striving towards that. And I think this is just one step in making it a more perfect union, that we talk about our history, both good and bad. That's when we become the so-called shining city on the hill, or the beacon that we want to be. And right now, I think we are living in such perilous times where in some states, teachers like me would be afraid to even teach June the 10th because someone could in Virginia call in a tip line to the governor and you could lose your job. Or in others, it's just not taught about. I have a cousin, a second cousin, who was a teacher in Florida. And after the shooting in Buffalo, the next day they were not allowed to mention it in their schools. And that's in the state of Florida. That's in a couple of months ago. So, hey, Lewisboro, thanks for at least looking up to your history.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
Okay. Okay, you're my friend and fellow town board member, Dan Welch. Dan, how are you?
Hey, Rich.
We're here to celebrate our second annual Juneteenth celebration here in Lewisboro, and tell us what this means to you as a longtime representative of our community and long-term resident.
Oh, man, this is huge as far as I'm concerned. You know, our country, let's face it, has a long way to go to sort of face up to its history. And you know, we don't have to make that some sort of really painful process. It could be uncomfortable at times, but I think from what I've heard from the organizers here and everything, the attitude and the approach, the feeling they're trying to create is one of bringing people together, and you know, at the same time recognizing that history. Obviously, this marks the day when you know, the slaves were effectively freed, right, as opposed to the Emancipation Proclamation, and that is a huge milestone in the, you know, the movement into a truly civilized society. And boy, I can't think of another, you know, day that's any more important than this one. So we should all be out here and celebrating each other. It's great.
Thank you, Dan.
Welcome to the second annual Juneteenth celebration. And we are so excited that we all came together to celebrate this important day in our country's history. As you know, June 19th marks the day in 1865 when the slaves in Texas were told by the federal government that they were free, more than 2 years after President Lincoln declared that all slaves shall be free. June 19th became Juneteenth, an annual celebration commemorating the final end of slavery in America. Now, being black in America has always been a struggle. Biases were constructed and promoted to justify slavery. Today, bias does continue and the struggle does continue. Systemic racism persists in all of our institutions, and blacks suffer unequal treatment. That's racism. Some of you may say that it's not happening here, but it does happen here. And we are all biased. Sometimes we're not aware of our bias, sometimes we are. Though last year it was a struggle getting the town board to declare Black Lives Matter and to sponsor the Juneteenth celebration this year, even though Juneteenth is a federal holiday, the town board did it. So let's give it up for the town board. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we have learned in our advocacy for racial equity that people are afraid of talking about race. But we can't continue to be afraid. We can't continue to be silent about race, and we need to talk about race. We need to address our own biases so that everyone is welcome and treated fairly. We can teach our children not to harbor the same biases of our parents, And we can also teach our children to be more empathetic towards others of a different race, because we are all human. Now, the Juneteenth celebration we created last year was the most diverse and supportive event we had ever attended in this town. So yay, Lewisboro! And we are humbled and grateful and thankful that so many residents donated close to $4,000 for this event. So give yourselves a round of applause. It's absolutely awesome. And we can do this. We can become a more welcoming and inclusive community. So let's start by celebrating Freedom Day together, and let's get this party started. Thank you. Yeah, us, who we are. I'm Dawn Brown Berenson. This is Cynthia Ryan, and this is the lovely Tisha Stapleton. And together we form Equity for All Lewisboro, and we are a racial advocacy group, and our motto is... Racism thrives on silence, and fear drives silence. So that's us. And we are local, we are a bunch of moms, and we are there to help with any type of microaggressions or problems that happen in the schools. So if anybody's having a problem, send us an email, equityforalllewisboro@gmail.com. Okay.
In the pavilion, you can see our table and find out a little bit more about us. We have a lot going on here today. In the pavilion, we have crafts. We have an 80-foot timeline that explains Black history, which is American history, from 1619 to the present. We have crafts there. We have book readings, which will go on after this. We have food, and at 2 o'clock we have a disc jockey come, and we hope everyone come down here and dance and celebrate together.
Hello, everyone. I would like to introduce Mary Shaw from the town board.
Woohoo, Mary! Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm going to use my librarian voice and quickly insert just a little bit of culture. This poem is by Phyllis Wheatley, the first American poet. If you want more information about her, I'd be more than happy to share it with you. It's called I'm Being Brought from Africa to America. 'Twas mercy brought me from my pagan land, taught my benighted soul to understand that there's a God, that there's a Savior too. Once I redemption neither sought nor knew. Some view our sable race with a scornful eye. Their color is a diabolic dye. Remember, Christians, Negroes, black as Cain, may be refined and join the angelic train. And she was here at the beginning of the founding of our country. So you can look at poetryfoundation.org for more information about her, or you can come and talk to me. And the other thing I want to do is thank you all for being here, and also thank the contributors who have financially supported this great event. And you can still support it by bringing me money or a check, and I will put it in the town funds. Thank you to Jason and Mikhail Pignatiello, Aaron and Jackie Mishler, Andre Rendo and her family, T. Welch for a most generous donation, Joan and Peter Becker, Elena Dunn and Joseph New, Rachel Simon, Jane and Jim Crimmins, Justice and Mrs. Charles Wood, Peter Lamka and Cheryl Ann Lamka Card, Dan Welch and Taiping Dong, Elliot Sokola, sorry Elliot, and Cindy Mecca, Linda Ray, Tony and Darlene Gonzalez, Tisha Stapleton, Dawn Brown Berenson, Cynthia Ryan and Bill O'Brien, and Heather Lackey. That is a lot of people, and we're over $4,000 at this point. We should all be very proud of this welcoming and inclusive community, but we need more than just being this. We need to make sure that people feel that they belong, and we're on our way, so thank you. Oh, and I'm sorry, also Rich Sclaren, my bad. That was the latest contribution.
And now we have Chris Burdick. Thank you. Our New York State Assemblyman, Chris Burdick.
Thank you, Cynthia. And again, I want to thank all of you for being here. All of you who are supporting inclusion, supporting welcoming, and promoting the fact that we all are in this together. We're all part of humanity. And what we have is a tremendous celebration of which everyone can be proud. And this is a celebration of freedom, not just for the African American community, but for all of us. For all of us, because this represents what America should be about, and for too long hasn't been about. Because we know that there is deep-rooted racism that continues to this day. And so every time we have the opportunity, we must take a stand. We must take the stand against hatred. We must take a stand against small-mindedness and those who are not welcoming. But this is celebration. And throughout the country, we have celebrations of Juneteenth. And it is so enormously important that each community does this and reaches out to all of the members of the community. And to that point, let's please give a tremendous round of applause to these women who made this possible. Because they have been in the vanguard. They have been the ones who have pressed. They have been the ones to say, wake up, Lewisboro, we need to do this. And you know what? It's happened. And the community can be proud of what has occurred and what has been accomplished. And for my part, I want to commend them for their work and present this citation on behalf of the New York State Assembly for their leadership in bringing this about. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you so much.
This means a lot to us, as those who know us know. We are passionate about this. So this really means a lot. Thank you so much.
Dawn, Cynthia, and Tisha, this of course would not have happened without all your efforts and your perseverance. So I congratulate and I thank you for doing what you did. And of course, the turn. This is a great turnout. So thank you all for coming out. Thanks, Chris, for that citation. Great job. That was great. And looking forward to the next one next year. It'll be even bigger and better. And with that said, make sure you come with the Lions Club. So come over to our grill. We have plenty of food, burgers, cheeseburgers, hot dogs, and veggie burgers. So thank you all very much. George, you want to come up and say a few words? Our county executive, George Latimer.
Obviously, this is an important event, and the fact that it's fun and it's celebratory for that. I congratulate the committee members for pulling this together, and there's music that's coming with this terrific microphone, I might add. But just a moment of sobering comes to me because, as most people know, I go all over the county on these days, and I went this event to that event. And I was most recently in New Rochelle at a Thomas Paine Cottage event where we cut the ribbon to dedicate a Thomas Paine festival that's happening. And, you know, he was the author of Common Sense, the pamphlet that helped lead us toward independence from Britain. And I reference that because it reminded me that this nation was founded on very high principles. When you read the Declaration of Independence, and it says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness," that is something that was never heard in the creation of any country in the history of the world. And we utterly did not have that kind of country on day one. That everyone was equal did not apply to those in this country who were African American. They were treated as 3/5 of a person for the purposes of representation and 0 for the purposes of full equality as citizens. Women, more than half of the country, weren't given the right to vote or own property at that stage of the game. So these high goals that existed are goals that we have not yet reached. We're aspirationally trying to reach it. And as I am in this portion of my life, not this portion of my life, yes, we've made strides. We've made improvement in accepting people of different backgrounds. We have pride celebrations as we have Juneteenth celebrations, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And it's not only because it's a social good, it's also because it's smart, hard-headed economy. The strongest Westchester comes from the we in Westchester. It comes from the diversity of Westchester. The fact that everybody participates in the society, everybody participates in the economics of the society, and we all rise together. And to keep a portion of our population in any kind of second-class citizenship is not just morally wrong, it's also incredibly stupid. And that's an important element, because if you can't reach somebody with the morality of the moment, reach them on their own economic interests, that to hold back equality is to hold yourself back in a very real way. African slavery was enslaving the white population from being what it could be. And what Juneteenth did is it emancipated blacks and whites from the burden of that prejudice. And we're still not there yet, almost 150 years later, over 150 years later. So we hope that this celebration is a way to make this real. And you make it real by having a fun event, by kids being able to run around and have a great time, not just listening to those of us in public office talk, but to recognize that we've got a long way to go, and that work won't be done on my last day on the planet. It may not be done on your last day of the planet, but by God, every single day we have to be working toward that goal. And ladies, you have advanced that goal here in Lewisboro. Thank you.
Just say, coming before or even speaking after George is not for the faint of heart, but I want to remind everyone that early voting started today. George's comments reminded me that it is really important for all of us to make certain that we vote. Many of us fought hard for the right to vote, or at least our forebearers did. And so the primary early voting window started today. If you're a registered Democrat, if you're a registered Republican, get out to the polls, cast your vote. Thank you so much. Thank you, George.
It's been a great celebration here in Lewisboro at the Town Park for the second annual Juneteenth Festival. We're glad you were here to celebrate it, celebrate the community of Lewisboro and coming together. And we're glad you got to see it here on LCTV, Channel 20.